months thereabouts, have also given people of the states, even those beyond the states, the opportunity to look at where he picked up the state from once his predecessor, former Governor Obaseki, left office. And what he has done the last 11 months, whether in the area of the economy of the states or as they call it, the local economy, infrastructure, and just ensuring that the people of the states, regardless of their social class, feel the impact of governance. That in itself has become basis for debates between the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress in the states, and the lead opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, many of whose members, some people believe, have not healed from the 2024 election. However, that matter has been laid to rest by the Supreme Court, so we are not revisiting it. However, going forward, we're also using this medium to look at what has been done in Edo State under the leadership of Senator Monday Okpebholo the last 11 months, using that to gauge his 1 year in office. I'm joined this morning by a member of the party and someone who has come to believe in the governor's ability to provide forward-thinking governance so much, Comrade Haruna Braimoh. He wants me to call him High Chief, but we're not doing that on the program this morning. Braimoh, as always, it's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's begin with, you and I were here talking quite a number of times before the election last year.
Yeah.
Of course, you were on the ground all through that period, campaign, the election day proper, and all of that. But today, we have moved from that phase. It's 11 months into the governance of Edo State under the leadership of Senator Monday Okpebholo. In a few days, it will be 1 year in office. In Nigeria, 1 year in office is a big landmark, a milestone for most governors.
Absolutely.
In the case of Edo State governor, what is worth celebrating?
The issue is this: the last 1 year of Governor Monday Okpebholo has heralded a new agenda in Edo State, agenda of development, agenda of inclusive governance, agenda of fiscal responsibility, agenda of delivering of fiscal governance, agenda of empowerment, social infrastructure, social investments, opening up the Edo economy for investors, both foreign and local, agenda of massive recruitment of Edo indigenes into the civil service, some of whom were entitled contract workers in their own states. It's even funny that you have to be a contract staff to the government of your own states. Those who were outsourced to Lagos-based outsourcing firm being paid peanuts as teachers.
Is there anything wrong with that? I mean, consultants.
That is a slap on labor laws, you know. When you outsource a civil service job to private handlers, you have denied those civil servants of access to proper civil service rules, civil service benefits, retirement benefits, gratuity benefits, health insurance benefits, and so on and so forth. When you make somebody a contract staff, that is, you are understaffing the person. That is underemployment under the laws of the ILO, International Labour Organization, of which Nigeria is a signatory. That is an aberration. It's unfortunate that we had a governor who was an investment banker or who proud himself to be an economist then, and he was doing all these shenanigans in the name of governance. And, you know, he undermined the intellectual know-how of Edo people, the intelligence base of Edo people, to have even go that route. In the history of Nigeria, from no state in Nigeria from 1960 to date, you have found any state or local government that does recruitment that is contract based. You are not a full staff. If the government contracts a project to a private company and the private company decide to recruit you, you are working for the private company, it's a different issue.
Right.
But a situation whereby a government contracts its own workforce to the hands of private people who now recruit you for the government as contract staff, to be working for the government as contract staff. They have denied you your dignity of labor, your self-worth, even as a human being, for your family life, as a man or a woman in your house, going to government work. For example, I'm a teacher? Do you know what it feels to tell somebody that I'm a teacher under Edo Best program? That means I'm a teacher under the Ministry of Education of Edo State, but I'm not a staff of Edo State government.
So you can be shown the way out at any point in time.
Absolutely.
There's no binding obligation.
And I'm not on the payroll of Edo State government. When the month ends, when my contemporaries who we are delivering on optimum, the same quality of service, they are going to the bank to collect their salary from Edo State government, I'll be going to my outsourcing firm or the contractor that contracts me on behalf of the Edo State government. Edo State government will pay to him. He will divide my salary and give me. Meanwhile, I'm giving on productivity grant. I'm giving the same 100% or more to whatever. If you go around some schools, they only have principal and vice principal who are Edo State employed teachers. Every other teachers in those schools, both secondary and primary, across rural areas, they were all outsourced. Now we have a government that have taken it all, absorbed them. On level 8, step 2, gave them letters all 5,000 plus another 1,000 freshers into the system, making 6,000. That is unprecedented. It takes
fully on the payroll of Edo State government.
Edo State government. It did not stop. That is education. If we still strengthen the fiscal governance further, you look at fiscal governance is how a government uses the machinery of governance and policy framework to deliver on the budgetary provisions across sector by sector. If you do sectoral analysis of the 2025 budget of Okpebholo and how Governor Okpebholo and how his SLSC has been able to implement the budget to date, vis-a-vis his performance with debt reduction, the liability inherited, you will be marveled and you will agree with those who says that his 1 year in office has even beat the 8 years of Obaseki, the former governor of Edo State. Let's check agriculture. Under the Shine agenda, agriculture was very key to nutrition. He said we have to drive food sufficiency for Edo State. A sufficient productive economy food-wise is the base for productivity generally in the economy. What was in the budget that he met in 2024? About 4.5 billion was budgeted for agriculture. His Excellency Governor Modi Okpebholo took it to 70 billion in 2025. That is more than 1,000% increments. It did not stop there. Why the former government could not provide tractor for the Ministry of Agriculture to help rural farmers to evolve in farming across the 80 states, 8 years he could not buy one tractor. He started delivering of tractors and now had meeting with smallholders farmers, form a cooperative arrangement. Because these farmers, they need, agriculture is the most subsidized sector in the world.
Right.
You cannot just privatize it and expect the private sector to drive the economy. As a government, you need to be involved. And he provided that leadership. Partner with some cooperative and said, let us create 3 mega farms in Edo State. 30,000 acres. One in Ovia, in Edo South, one in Udomi, in Uwesa, in Edo Central, and the other one in Edo North. And you could see, 1 year after, we are now seeing harvest. Partnering with these cooperatives now will now have each hectare now will be produced. We are going to be harvesting tons of maize. Maize is just one of the many products because you have to stratify the crops according to the area of peculiar priority. What is of high yield in Esa land?
Right.
What is of high yield in Edo South? Which crop is of high yield in Edo North? He prioritizes it like that, so that you can have economic advantage.
I want to, yes, there's a lot to talk about in the next few minutes.
Then you go to, I'm talking of going back to the education.
Right.
He took the budget in 2004. Edo State budget was the lowest for education after Zamfara.
That was the last budget cycle under the former governor.
Under the former governor in 2024, rather. Right. Was the second to the least budgetary allocation to education in Nigeria. And that is another slap considering the level of intelligence that is in Edo State.
Oh,
the level of
what would have informed that size
sincerity of purpose. Because You said you budgeted 26 billion for education, Obaseki. You went to World Bank to collect $75 million. And do you know that $75 million he collected for Edo Best for World Bank, it is only $5 million that was utilized? Till tomorrow, nobody, as we are coming to that, thank God the probe, the gradual investigation is going on. I told you it's going to be gradual. You understand? Now, this government is coming to increase that budget.
The probe is by the Asset Verification Committee, by the way, isn't it?
Of course, Asset Verification Committee has submitted their report, and the House of Assembly, the government have directed the House of Assembly to investigate. At least we start with the hotel, the Radisson Blue Hotel, that we were cheated out. Another case, I told you on this program that, right. And you were maybe you didn't believe exactly, you know, and the MOA issue. So let me still continue with.
Is former Governor Obaseki on that probe in Edo State? Let's be categorical. Is he on that probe?
It's under recovery. We are recovering our asset from him.
Is the former governor being probed?
I said we are recovering asset because most of these programs and properties and investment, they have people that are running them. So we are not dealing with Obaseki that he used process to execute all these projects. And these projects, they are not invisible.
And they are still being invited.
Of course, they are cooperating very well, like the Radisson Blue Hotel, where you have to invest Edo State 22.5 billion, and you now sold the investment to Taburi company at 10 billion. And
that question about whether the former governor was being probed is simple. I'd seen a video where a former governor of the state as well, now Senator Adam Saliu Shomole, who happens to be my senator, by the way, was railing. I mean, he kept on hammering on the need for the current governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, to probe former governor Obaseki. So, is it not? I mean, are these two scenarios not?
I've told you that when the governor came into power, the first thing he did was to set up the Asset Verification Committee.
Right. And
based on that, already is an indirect probe
of the former governor,
probing the activities. I don't want to be mentioning Obaseki per se.
But it seems you can't help referencing.
Yeah, because those people, I just told you, the owners of the people who are the Hittitle owners of the hotel, for example, right. The Radisson Blue Hotel, they are cooperating with the government. They are ready to renegotiate the equity and will get what belongs to Edo State.
Regarding the Radisson,
of course. The MOA you saw last week when the governor visited, the deputy governor visited before, the governor visited the MOA program, where Edo State, you said it's a private
museum
that you have to destroy an existing specialist hospital for a private museum to operate, and you give them 3.something billion as a part of working capital takeoff grant, and you give them a land that is worth more than 5 billion, and you say Edo State does not have stake in it, and you granted a CFO to them that give them room for future expansion. It is that expansion and that is not drawing the attention of the state government, because there was encroachment on the other side of the hospital that has to do with the doctor's quarters, the mortuary, and other clinic.
That's a facility on Sapleri.
Of course. You are now encroaching on them. How can a private, an NGO be so audaciously reckless to even think of expanding on an illegality that favored them or that they benefited from in the last administration, to be embarking on demolishing doctors' quarters to annex more land to themselves?
Let's talk about something. I mean,
also the CFO will be reviewed.
Right. We've been talking about education, which of course we understand is quite critical, right? There was a report recently, some sort of, the government saying that the state government under the current governor, Monday Okpebholo, has built a certain number of schools, and that raised
68.
Yes, some controversies.
I've said it.
And we are told the current commissioner for higher education in the state, was asked to kindly provide the locations of those schools, and who knows, maybe their names as well, and that didn't happen. It doesn't cast a shadow.
No, don't say that did not happen. First of all, who are the people asking such questions?
Well, frontliners in the opposition.
Who are the exactly? Because the schools that are being remodeled, remember in this program, in the 100 days in office of Obaseki, of current governor, His Excellency Senator Mondo Bewolo. I said it that he has given approval for the reconstruction and remodeling and renovation of 100 schools to mark his 100 days in office. That was just 100 days. If at 1 year anniversary is delivery 68, and he has said he has delivered on 68, and most of these schools I've been mentioning on this program, I mentioned some name within Benin City, like these are visible schools in Benin City. Why this opposition? Why can't they just take a drive? Even when you give them the list, they want you to take them physically to go around the schools. Even the videos are banned on the internet. The one in Ivareke, the one in Obaseki, the Army Day Secondary School, some in upper side, Idogbo area, some the one in Umode, the Egba Grammar School, the Lot 1, Lot 2. This I'm just talking within Benin. Some in Ovia, across. I'm not talking of Asia land from Ile. The secondary school and primary school in Ile. Epoma, yes. In Edo Central. You talk of the one in Ewato side, the Udomi. I went there, I was there. In fact, the governor voted in the last senatorial election in one of those schools. I was there with him. These schools are bound. One is going on in Satibie now, Ugeda, in Satibie. Some in Agenebode, which I've mentioned. There are 2 primary schools. These things across, even in Ososo, there's one that is also going on there in Akoko Edo. Look, we have 18 local government area in Edo State. Imagine how many in across. We have more than, in some local government, you have like 5 wards, 4 wards, 6 wards.
Right.
So in each ward, we have 92 wards in Edo State. There's practically no ward that a school project is not being reconstructed.
Under this government.
Exactly.
I want us to talk about
even the one in South in Ibienafe, the Ibienafe secondary school. That's my village
I want
too.
us to talk
And they
about,
approved for reconstruction and renovation. So some of these things you show them on television. Those that does not want to see will not see. Those that does not want to hear will not hear.
No matter how much you put
exactly.
out.
Are we going to talk about the 600 bed hostel that is being constructed in AAU? This is the same school that Obaseki was giving 40 million monthly subvention. And
so have we reduced that upward now?
Of course, to 500 million. That is monthly recurrent subvention, not capital subvention.
All right, let's talk about something else. Some of those projects that Obaseki has started, including this Radio Assembly, we understand all of these projects came about spending the monies that belong to Edo people. Is the governor going to, as it were, terminate these projects? Is it going to continue with them?
Some of the we are done. When it came, even in the Asset Verification Committee report, you could see that we had about 200 and something billion contractual liabilities. Some of these projects never paid for them.
In other words, those states, it's
contractual liability with contractors from abandoned road projects that are ongoing. Some you underfunded them. Those who have delivered.
Could that have been on account of paucity of funds?
Not necessarily, because subsidy was removed. We cannot talk about, because if you want to talk of positive, how? When is the highest borrower in the history of Edo State? From 1991, when Edo State was created, to these days, Obaseki administration was the highest borrower of funds, external and domestic debt. When he took over governance in Edo State in 2016 from former Governor Adams Aliu Bukbebu Oshomole, the debt profile of Edo State was 108 billion. As he was leaving, he left a debt profile of 757 billion within 8 years. Can you beat that? In total, I'm not talking of the liability he abandoned for as regarding retirees, pension and gratuities, about 57.9 billion.
Have those been cleared now?
Governor Mondo is clearing it. As we speak, we're talking of from 2011. 2012, I think it's around, he has cleared up to 3-4 years from it now. As at my media engagement, my engagement with the former commissioner of local government at Chieftaincy Affair, Dr. Loki Esiegbe, was talking of, we are entering 2017, 2018, so that we clear that. You look at the retirees from the colleges of education, Ekiadolo, Iguriaki, Agenebode Colleges of Agriculture, all of them, and one in Igwebe too. You saw last month, he just approved, or this month, he approved 4.6 billion to settle them. These were people that he sacked unduly. Okay, if you relieve somebody unduly as a civil servant, the rule says you should settle him. Some of them, you were owing them 10 months. Even the same Ekpoma, you were owing them 20-something months. Lecturer's salary. All are declared. All are declared. And the funny part is the government with such huge inherited debt is reducing the debt. That is fiscal discipline. Prudence, we have never had it this good as far as prudent resource management is concerned.
Has the governor borrowed since he came into office?
No. The one I explained to you, the 100 billion infrastructural tide, he has not even touched. I told you it's a guaranteeing fund with First Bank. We have not touched 1 naira from it. Instead, it's reducing the debt. Our debt, our domestic debt from, at least you can access DMO, Debt Management Office of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's not a those state created. We have our domestic debt are reduced from 113 billion to about 83 point something billion. While our foreign debt has reduced from $387 million to about 337.
What is the governor, I should ask you, doing about attracting foreign investors into the state?
I told you the last time regarding when we were talking about the Glasgow Diaspora Investment Summit that they went to.
That was very controversial all over the place.
Some of these things, those that want to make that controversial, make it controversial.
But the government also seems to have done an excellent job putting the facts out there.
Of course, we have to because to always curb their wrong narratives, because they are drowning people, political drowning. When a drowning man is in the river, he's looking for every straw of to hold, to draw that. Unfortunately, His Excellency Senator Monday Okpebholo is not ready for that. He's not bothered with cho. He's talking of you saw the harvest on the at the Udomi mega farm project. That is practical governance. Meanwhile, his predecessor, former Governor Obaseki, spent 23 billion in Sobe farm, and we could not harvest a corn. Rather, kidnappers took it over as den of negotiation of ransom, even before this government came to power. I'm not done. Let me take you further.
Let's give you a minute to wrap
up. Let me take you further. After, even with the event of fiscal discipline, because if you read what the DMO says, what is happening is not just because the subsidy removal, states are not any more money. They said it there because it's not what is going on across all states. It's not all states that are also paying, they are reducing their domestic debt, or at best some are not borrowing. You understand? But this Senator Monday Okpebholo did not stop at not borrowing.
He's still clearing the obligation.
Exactly. Let me give you an instance again. Do you know that the 60% job done in Edo Education Hub have not been paid, will not pay for?
By the previous government?
Yes. But you commission a project you did not pay for. So who is paying for the 60% now? Is he not supposed to take the credits?
Right.
You understand? The contractor just revealed that they were not paid.
Do we have facts that they were not paid? Really?
The contractor just revealed. It's in the news.
Verbally or with paperwork?
With paperwork, of course. That they are being owed. If that means they've done the work more than how much they'll be paid.
In other words, the state is indebted to them.
You understand? So that is the Morrissey, and it's a people-driven governor. He look at the project. He look at the impacts that the government the project is going to bring to the people. He reviewed it and he has set to carry the burden. So you go on, finish up your work, while we'll be paying you.
All right, that sounds like it.
And if you still talk of the investment we are talking about, let me cite another example.
Yes, we're
the Chinese. I told you in the other time that Chinese are investing massively in Edo State and the Indians. Building steel companies, glass companies in Edo State, ceramics and what in Sapele Road. It has become an industrial hub, and one of their social responsibility was to create some schools, some very, very special schools that is technologically imparted
with today's reality.
You saw the school that was commissioned, built by the Chinese company. They just commissioned it this weekend with technology and everything.
All right,
which is first of its kind in South Nigeria.
I can imagine, but you know, we're still a couple of days at least for the big day, which is 12th
of November.
So we'll make efforts by the grace of God to bring you back.
Yeah, then we'll give sectoral analysis, progress by progress.
Exactly. We'll have an expanded conversation. I'd like to thank you to you.
Thank you so much
for making our time this busy Monday morning to be part of our show.